What's up? I'm Chantel, you're the internet. Now that we know each other just a little bit better, I've got a confession to make. I'm feeling a little nostalgic. I'm also feeling a little sick, as you can probably hear from my voice. I've got a spring flu, but it's all good. Anyway, back to the nostalgia. I was a very gullible kid and I used to believe in a lot of different things, mainly because my parents used to tell me a lot of different things. Some of my grandparents, a lot of aunts and uncles, and even some of my cousins used to tell me some of these crazy things, and being the kid I was, I used to believe quite a lot of them for quite a long time. So without further ado, here is 5 things I used to believe when I was a kid. Number 1, thanks to my parents and pretty much all my grandparents and a lot of my aunts and uncles, I used to believe that if you swallowed a fruit seed, like from an apple or a watermelon, that you used to actually grow an entire tree or a plant within your stomach. I got so freaked out about this that even little grapes, even the little seeded grapes, I used to buy them in half just so I could pick the seeds out and then I'd finish off the grape. I did this till I was probably about 10 years old, so thanks Mom, thanks Dad, that was awesome. Number 2, this is mainly my mum that used to tell us this. Mum used to tell us that if you stood out in the rain, it'd help you grow. It didn't really make sense to me as a kid. I still kind of believed it, but then again, kind of caught up with the lie a few years later, or pretty much a few years after she told me. Why? Because I asked her a question. I asked her why she was so short, and she basically just goes, well, it's just how I am. I said, but you stood out in the rain all the time. Why haven't you grown? And her lie kind of faltered there. Number 3. Now this was aided by my mum and her mum. She all the time used to tell us to do this. They used to tell us that if you ate your crusts on your sandwich, your hair would turn curly. I wanted curly hair so badly, I still do. Doesn't matter how many crusts I ate when I was a kid, my hair is still dead straight. Now, thanks Dad and thanks Mum. I ate so many crusts when I was a kid, it wasn't funny. My hair's still dead straight. Why? Number 4. This one was told to me when I was probably about 5 years old. It was by a friend of my mum's, and she actually, through this, for some reason, I gained this huge fear of it, which wasn't too great for me. But she always used to tell me that because I always saw a face on the moon, that the man in the moon was watching me. And from that, I gained this instant fear of like the moon constantly watching me. So every time I'd go to sleep, I'd have to have my curtains closed and not be able to see the moon whatsoever, because I always used to get freaked out because it'd be watching me and I was terrified. Again, one of the irrational fears I had as a child. And finally, last but not least, number 5. My dad's father used to pull this on me all the time. So, you know how you leave milk, cookies and carrots out for Santa Claus whenever he comes to visit? My grandfather used to leave a 6-pack of beer instead and used to say to me, don't worry, Santa's gonna come by and I'm gonna have a drink with him. I always used to tell him off for this by going, no, Pop, don't have a drink with him, don't have a drink with him. He'd go, why not? I'd say, because drinking and driving's not allowed. And for some reason, in my head, I thought because drinking and driving wasn't allowed, you couldn't drink and fly. So I thought that somehow my grandfather was gonna get Santa in trouble for drinking and flying. Again, it was one of the weird concoctions that I made up in my head as a kid, but still, every single year I used to tell my grandfather off, don't put a 6-pack out for Santa, don't put a 6-pack out for Santa. Every year he still used to stir me up, no matter what. Anyway guys, this video is dedicated to all the shit stirrers within your family, such as aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, mums, dads, big brothers, big sisters, little sisters, cousins. Everyone who's a shit stirrer in your family is dedicated to them. All the beliefs that made you believe as a kid, even some they may make you believe now, it's all dedicated to them. If you like this video guys, remember to give it a big thumbs up. Also remember to leave a comment down below just some of the crazy things you used to believe as a kid. Also remember to hit that subscribe button, also hit that bell for the notifications, and I'll catch you guys next week.